Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Big Brother fans watched Reilly and Brendon Villegas fall for each other in real time, but few could have predicted how far their love story would go. After more than a decade, the reality TV couple opens up about how they met on the show, how they got through life in the spotlight, and how they started a family outside of Big Brother. 14 years and 41 days later. Brendon and Rachel were together for 41 days on Big Brother 12. Their Showmance has now turned into 14 years together and 2 kids. In 2010, the then cocktail waitress and high school swim coach entered the Big Brother house vying for $500,000. Reilly had disagreements with many of the other house guests, but she liked Villegas. After 75 days of being apart, they took their showmance outside the house. The couple has a long reality TV resume since BB12. They competed together on Big Brother 13, which Rachel won, and The Amazing Race seasons 20 and 24, where they finished third as a team. Additionally, they have appeared on Celebrity Fear Factor. Reilly has also ventured out on her own, appearing in Season 1 of The Traitors, Season 27 of Big Brother, and Worst Cooks in America. "Our whole life has been on TV," Reilly told People, referring to Villegas and their daughters Adora, 10, and Adler, 5, respectively. Favorite part of a reality TV meeting. The love story of Rachel and Brendon was made public for all to see. As their relationship developed, we all watched them on the live feeds. Now, 14 years later, what's the best part of finding their person on reality TV? According to Rachel, fan edits, they rock my world. We enjoy watching them on holidays and when we fight. Brendon continued, with the exception of our first kiss under a blanket, every moment was captured on television, making it easy to relive those moments. Sometimes it feels like we have shared so many intimate moments with the fans that you want some of those personal moments to keep for just yourself. At some point, being able to show your grandkids how Grandma and Grandpa met on reality TV would be a very cool experience. With a 10- and 5-year-old in the house now, how do Rachel and Brendon talk to them about how their parents met? Rachel said, "I like to show them parts of our Big Brother season, our wedding, and the other shows we've been on. However, they don't seem very impressed. We have told the kids how we met, but who knows what any of it means to them now," Brendon continued. "I think there will be a day when someone points out to our kids how it was cool that we met on reality TV, and they might finally agree because someone else points it out. Competition is the foundation of reality television. Strategy, betrayal, suspicion. Very rarely is it built on something genuine enough to outlast the cameras. However, Rachel Reilly and Brendon Villegas are still one of the most unlikely and successful love stories in the Big Brother franchise, more than a decade after they entered the house for the first time. What started as a showmance inside a pressure cooker became a marriage, a family, and a partnership that fans still point to as proof that reality TV relationships can be real. And according to both of them, they didn't expect it either. A first meeting nobody really cared about. When Rachel entered the Big Brother house, she immediately stood out. Loud, confident, emotional, and competitive, she became a central figure almost instantly. Brendon, by contrast, was calm, analytical, and soft-spoken, a physicist who preferred logic over confrontation. On paper, they made no sense together. However, being isolated inside the house alters everything. There are no phones, no internet, no friends, and no family. The only people who exist in your world are the strangers living beside you. Bonds form quickly because they have to. Rachel later admitted that the environment accelerated emotions in a way that real life never could. Every conversation feels bigger, she explained in interviews over the years. You're not distracted by jobs or social media or everyday life. You are simply present. You actually get to know someone. Brendon felt it too, though he approached it cautiously. He was initially concerned that he might lose everything if he trusted someone in the game. Romance in Big Brother is risky. A pair becomes an immediate target. You are seen by alliances as a built-in voting bloc. But the more they talked, the less the strategy mattered. The match versus the connection. One of the most important plot points of the season quickly emerged from their relationship. They supported each other in competitions, comforted each other after nominations, and argued just as intensely as they cared. The disagreements, reconciliations, and moving speeches that became Big Brother history were all watched by viewers. They became polarizing figures as a result of Rachel's passionate responses to threats of eviction, the well-known floaters speech, and Brendon's protective loyalty. They were liked by some fans. Others were frustrated by how much their decisions revolved around each other. However, they weren't performing inside the house. They were under constant surveillance as they navigated their relationship. Rachel later reflected that the hardest part wasn't gameplay, it was vulnerability. "You can't hide who you are in that house," she said. "Eventually, the cameras catch everything. Your bad moods, your fears, your insecurities. It means a lot that someone still considers you important after seeing all of that." Surviving outside the house. Many Big Brother showmances fail to materialize. The moment players regain access to real life, the connection fades. Distance, schedules, and normal responsibilities replace the intense closeness of the house. Rachel and Brendon faced that exact challenge. They had privacy for the first time, and they had to decide whether their relationship was based on the game or genuine compatibility. According to Brendon, the outside world was actually harder. In the house, you only focus on each other. Suddenly, you have careers, travel, interviews, and expectations in the outside world. We had to figure out how to be a regular couple. Instead of drifting apart, they discovered their personalities balanced perfectly. Rachel's emotional openness matched Brendon's patience. His steadiness grounded her competitive intensity. The relationship that began under artificial circumstances became real through ordinary experiences: grocery shopping, traveling together, and meeting each other's families. Returning to reality TV together. Unlike most couples, they didn't leave reality TV behind. They pressed down on it. They competed together once more, appearing on additional seasons of reality competition shows and as partners defending a future rather than players protecting a showmance. That distinction changed their strategy. Inside the game, they once feared losing competitions. Later, they feared losing each other's trust. Their communication improved because it had to. They couldn't treat arguments as temporary anymore. Rachel frequently acknowledged that the show made them learn how to resolve conflicts more quickly than most couples ever would. "You learn quickly how to talk things out when you can't walk away," she joked. "There's no other place to go." Establishing a family. Years after leaving the Big Brother house, Rachel and Brendon reached a milestone that solidified their story beyond television. They became parents. Everything, including the game that brought them together, changed when they became parents. What once felt like a life-defining competition became the starting chapter of a much larger story. They began to see their time on the show less as a contest they played and more as the place they met their life partner. Rachel has often said she's grateful she didn't tone down her personality in the house.
If I tried to act perfect, Brendon wouldn't have known the real me, she explained. The show required candor. Brendon agreed, noting that reality television removed people's usual social masks. You meet someone at their most stressed and emotional. It's probably real if you still connect. Why their story still matters to fans. Big Brother has produced hundreds of contestants and countless alliances, but very few that endured. Rachel and Brendon represent something rare, a storyline that didn't end when the finale aired. Their relationship gives fans a different perspective on the game. It demonstrates that human connection is at the heart of the social experiment aspect of Big Brother, not just manipulation or strategy. They discovered trust in a setting intended to instill suspicion.
The majority of contestants only care about one thing when they enter the Big Brother house: winning. The $500,000 prize, the strategy, the alliances, and the fame all loom large before the front door ever locks behind them. Nobody enters with the expectation of meeting their future spouse, especially not Brendon Villegas or Rachel Reilly. Yet, years after they first appeared on the show, their relationship has become one of the most enduring success stories in reality TV history. What started out as a high-stress showdown in front of cameras and skepticism gradually developed into a marriage, a family, and a partnership that has endured seasons, twists, and public opinion. The most odd thing, according to them, is how normal it now seems. The first days inside the house. The contrast was immediately apparent when the two of them met. In competition, Rachel was vivacious, outspoken, and unflinching. Even when it caused tension in the house, she didn't hesitate to express exactly what she was thinking. Brendon, a scientist by training, approached the game cautiously. He was the first to observe, spoke with care, and calculated every move. At first, they simply talked to pass time, something houseguests do constantly in a world with no phones, internet, or outside distractions. But conversation inside Big Brother isn't casual. Without the outside world, people learn each other quickly. Personal stories replace small talk. Trust grows much more quickly than it would in everyday life. Brendon later said that the environment made it hard to be real. In interviews, he explained, "You can't really pretend for long in there. There is no place to go or hide. You eventually reveal who you really are." Rachel noticed that too. She said that more than the competitions, the emotional intensity surprised her. Days felt longer, the conversations seemed deeper, reactions felt stronger. Additionally, the game ceased to feel like a game somewhere in the space between strategy discussions and late-night conversations. A relationship under pressure. It is not romantic in the traditional sense to fall in love with someone in the Big Brother house. Every exchange is recorded. Every disagreement is made public. Every moment of emotion is made public. Their relationship developed in full view of both houseguests and millions of viewers. Through nominations and victories, they supported one another, but they also disagreed. Emotions were heightened by stress, lack of sleep, and constant uncertainty. When eviction was hanging over them, even a minor disagreement might seem like a big deal. However, that pressure evolved into an odd advantage. The majority of couples discover each other over the course of months or years. Rachel and Brendon had to resolve their differences right away. They had to communicate because they couldn't walk away, physically or emotionally. Rachel later said that living together non-stop accelerated their relationship. "It's like skipping 5 years of dating," she joked. "You see someone at their best and their worst right away." Public responses. Viewers had strong opinions about the pair. Their loyalty and emotional honesty were adored by some. Others thought their connection hurt their gameplay. A close couple is always a target in Big Brother, and their bond made them both more strategically vulnerable. But inside the house, they weren't thinking about how people would perceive them. They were trying to navigate a relationship while also surviving a competition. Brendon struggled with balancing logic and emotion. Rachel struggled with separating game decisions from personal feelings. Both admitted later that they often chose each other over optimal strategy, and neither regrets it. After the cameras, a real life.
The real test came after the finale. When normal life returns, many relationships from reality shows quickly end. Without constant proximity and shared pressure, couples discover their connection was tied to circumstance. Brendon and Rachel had the same question. They now had real-world responsibilities, schedules, careers, and distance. Instead of living together 24/7, they had to make time for each other like any other couple. They quickly found that the bond was still effective. In fact, Brendon once said their relationship became easier outside the house because they could finally focus on each other instead of the game. No strategy, no alliances, no expulsions. Just a normal relationship, something they had never actually experienced before. Marriage and partnership. Eventually, their connection deepened into a long-term commitment. What fans once called a showmance became a marriage. They learned how to combine very different personalities into a stable partnership. Rachel's expressiveness balanced Brendon's calm. Her drive for competition was tempered by his patience. They also learned how to communicate, a skill they credit directly to Big Brother. In later interviews, Rachel explained, "Living under stress teaches you how to work through disagreements. We were taught early on that we needed to listen to each other." Their teamwork, once focused on surviving the game, now focused on building a life. Being a parent. The biggest change came when they started a family. Parenthood reshaped how they looked back at their reality TV journey. The show that was once a contest is now a beginning, the place where their future family started. They often reflect on how unlikely it was. Two strangers from different backgrounds, chosen by a casting process and placed in a controlled environment, found a connection strong enough to last beyond television. Brendon has said that he sometimes thinks about how easily their paths might never have crossed. They probably wouldn't have met at all without Big Brother. Why fans care still. Big Brother has resulted in numerous alliances and brief affairs, but few long-term relationships. Rachel and Brendon's story stands out because it proved something viewers often question. Reality TV can produce real emotions. Beyond gameplay, their relationship provided audiences with something to root for. Instead of only watching blindsides and betrayals, fans watched a genuine partnership develop. They saw two people choose each other repeatedly, even when it wasn't the best move strategically. And in a show designed around deception, sincerity became the most memorable storyline. Looking back at the experience. When they reflect now, they don't talk first about competitions or prize money. They discuss late-night conversations and the strange closeness that developed inside the house. Rachel often says the experience changed her life permanently, not because of television exposure, because she met the person with whom she would spend the rest of her life. Brendon agrees, noting that the show was unpredictable in the best possible way. His personal future was shaped rather than tested in a competition designed to test strategy. They entered the house hoping to win a game. They left with something far more lasting. More than just a showdown. Today, their story remains part of Big Brother history, not because of a twist or competition win, but because it showed the human side of the social experiment. The show puts people in isolation to show who they really are. They discovered commitment, vulnerability, and honesty in that setting. Even now, years later, they still think of the house not just as a set, but also as the place where their lives changed. Brendon Villegas and Rachel Reilly saw Big Brother more than just a show on television.